DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
You're tuned in to DJNTV Live with your host, Brian Esred.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Car Chat with Brian and John.
Yeah, we did that pre-show.
Oh, wait, that's the other channel.
Yeah, that's. I
Crap.
guess we're gonna make it.
Okay,
maybe.
I'll do this again. I got this one. Good evening to your chance to get your questions answered from the psychic line with Brian and John.
No, wrong one.
Really?
No, this is the DJ one. This is
the DJ.
Yes, doing the DJ thing.
So embarrassed. I should have been able to look in the
No.
future and see I would have been embarrassed. Okay, we'll go with that. We'll go with the DJ1. So good evening and welcome. We are here on Facebook and we are here on YouTube, making sure that's up and I can see everything. Yay, thank you. So tonight we're going to talk DJ Expo Car Chat. Yes, that's right. We were doing Car Chat before we got here.
I was being a mechanic today.
The mechanic world. But tonight we're going to talk about some of the gear and such from DJ Expo. That's going to be kind of the main focus as we tangent to everything else. Welcome to our show.
Yeah, just throwing it out there. We haven't discussed any of this, so
That's very true because we were doing Car Chat.
we haven't talked about anything at DJ Expo.
Yeah. Not
I
tonight.
mean, since we've been to DJ Expo, we haven't talked. About
Yeah,
it.
we haven't since last Tuesday night. Actually, we've only talked cars, the cars afterwards. Sorry, we don't compare notes here. But we got some folks jumping in here. I've got Peter, David, Scott, Chris is with us. Howie's up there. Yeah, thank you guys for being with us tonight.
Keep the hubcap, dude.
Yes. Oh, it was great last week to get to see the crew at DJ Expo and hang out for a while on Tuesday night. It's fun stuff. And tonight in the show, we're going to kind of focus on some of the gear because, Brian, you got to spend some time in the exhibit hall and got to see some of the gear that I missed as I went through.
A little bit. I mean, it was a whirlwind trip. It really was. I mean, I was there for the, I guess, Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah.
But this light's driving me nuts. But I wasn't there for the Thursday. Thursday's a good day, but that was travel home. Had a gig and all that stuff. So I crammed as much in as I could and saw a few things that we can report on.
That sounds good. And we've talked a little bit about, we covered a few things last night. We've really covered the educational side of it. So if you're having questions about the content and things, Dan last night's show with Shaney, Dan and I, Dan really got into the educational side. And Shaney got into the party side. Tonight is going to be the gear side, the exhibit hall side, because they covered the other aspects of it. And, I didn't have time to get to point A or point B, but we're going to cover point C. This is what
Always on the run.
Yeah, it really is. And that's one of the big things. But even though we were on the run, it just when people come up and introduce themselves at the show, and we talked about this before, we went to DJ Expo for people to do that. And there were folks who came up and introduced themselves and such. Just it's so cool for folks to do that because we don't know who you are because we see names like we see Scott Carroll. Who's Scott Carroll? We don't know who that is. But when Scott, we do know because Scott comes to our hangouts, which happen after the show sometimes. But getting that name and face and such together at these shows is just incredible. So I want to thank those of you who took a few minutes to say hey at the show. That was really, really cool.
I want to apologize to everybody who I didn't get to say hey to, who I wanted to say hey to and spend some time with too.
Yeah, and there's that running crazy left and right because the show.
Well, just sticks out in my mind. I just wanted to say something publicly about Nick Khan was there with Glenn from Promo Only, and Nick brought his wife Britt, and they came to the party on Tuesday night. And Nick came over and said hi. I was going to make my way over there, but I was waiting for fries, and then my fries didn't come quite when I wanted them to. And then John said, "Let's go," and I'm like, "Go where?" And he's like, "We're going live." I'm like, "Oh crap, really? Okay." So we went live, and then it rained, and then my fries got wet, and at any rate, by the time we were done, Nick was gone. So I'm sorry, Nick. I wanted to get over there and say hi to all of you and spend some time, but I got dragged somewhere else.
And the cold, wet French fries.
Yeah, I had 2 fries that night.
That was supper. Sorry about that. I didn't really know.
I ate them on air too, I think. So.
I think, yes, you did. You were trying to before. It's like,
I'm 2 fries.
I'm really hungry. Yeah. Give me my fries.
Just something. And yeah, I ate the next day. It was all good.
Yeah.
No, it's like that sometimes though. But yeah, I did get to spend some time in the Expo Hall. The big Expo Hall day for me was actually Wednesday. It was my run through. I got a lot of video. I haven't posted it all yet. I've got more video to post of things that I did hit. And I was trying to pay attention to things that were kind of for mobile DJs. And I found a few things.
Yeah, there's definitely. Let's start at the top of the building. Let's start in the demo rooms upstairs. And I want to specifically talk about Avante. This was the first time we've seen their array system that they were putting together. But this is basically, we've gone from prototype with known tweaks happening to it to now I think what we saw is ready to ship in about 60 days.
I'm not sure.
I think that's what JC was telling me, that they're ready to ship. And for those of you who watched, because I think I had the Avante video up, and if I don't, I got to make it live. But in the video, we talked about it, and of course, there's so much going on that what I in one video, and then I forget. So, but did you get a chance to listen to the array system up in the Avante room?
You talking about the one they had hanging?
Yes,
I did. I heard it. It was fine. I'm just thinking to myself, not for mobile DJs.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what the application is there, but that wasn't a mobile DJ piece. The focus for Avante, I feel, for us, is still that achromic series.
Achromic series, yeah.
The A10, A12, A15, and then the 2 subs. That's a hot piece. Those are hot pieces for those of you who want to get into pro audio, don't have a lot of dough. I'm thinking a lot of the people who might be spending money on things like Mackie or Behringer or something like that, or even Alto, you could spend your money a lot wiser at Avante and get some really, really nice stuff for a very reasonable price. I'm still really hot on those. Very hot on those.
My son Michael, of course, was with us, and we were in there, and JC, they played the array system for us. And I think the biggest downfall with the array system is I thought the mids and the highs they sounded great. It's just the lack of bass right now. And they mentioned that there's going to be a sub that they're going to be bringing in. Sounded good, don't get me wrong. But then they turned it over, JC flipped it over to the 15 above the 18 and then pushed it. And Michael was like, holy cats, this is, and because he knew that the price point is much different than some of the higher end speakers. Mm-hmm. And yet they pushed really, really well. He was surprised with that because he's all about the bass, Of
course.
No treble. Yeah. When you're 15 years old, that's what you're after. And so he was very impressed with that. And again, not quite half the price of some of the larger, more expensive speakers.
Well, should we walk to the next room over now?
So now
Pioneer.
We'll go out of that, and then we continue down the hallway to our friend Jay Brannon.
Yes. I did a video with Jay,
mm-hmm.
and it's about, I think, 5 or 6 minutes long, where he's showing how he's incorporating Lyric and record box lighting with record box software and the DDJ 1000. And the video did very well. He answered some questions in there that people wanted answered.
Yeah.
It's pretty smart. I like it. And even if you don't use the video aspect of it with Lyric, which is basically you can download on-screen lyrics for songs, popular songs.
Yes.
Play them along with music video or play them with the music. It doesn't really matter. It's kind of a neat feature that Rekordbox has. It's a subscription service you have to pay for it monthly, but it's kind of cool. But you know, even if you're not using music video, record box lighting is pretty cool. I mean, you can plug your lights in, you know, assign the channels, whatever they happen to be, and run your DMX cable. And record box lighting can either help you create custom shows, or it can just do shows for you.
Yeah.
Based on the wave patterns. It's pretty smart.
Yeah, it is.
I like it. It's in the library that they have is for all fixtures. You don't have to just have, you know, Chauvet or ADJ or whatever the case might be. As long as it's a DMX fixture and you can put it in the 512 universe in there, you can tweak it. You can do custom lights for specific songs, or just leave it alone and it just does stuff for you based on wave patterns. I like that. That is a mobile DJ friendly piece. It's even a club DJ friendly piece, really.
I would agree. Yeah, it's definitely. I've been very happy with my virtual DJ and with my Denon products, no question about it. But this combination, you know, with the ability to layer things and do, you know, Jay was, it was pretty cool. As I mentioned last night, if I hadn't that unlimited checkbook, I would have been coming home with a 1,000 and the full software. Not that I would have been jumping in to use it right away, but I think there's just some really cool capability there that I would love to play with. And who knows, being able to put that, drop those lyrics over the songs, and you can have filters to make sure they're clean. And they're pushing an envelope, I think, in the DJ industry that in 3 years is going to be standard probably across the board. But they're the first ones. They're the first ones getting there.
Right. Now, the one thing that is important to remember, I think, is that Jay is not a lighting guy.
Yes.
He's not. I mean, I've known Jay for 12 years now. And, well, I don't know, 11 years, whatever. But anyway, the guy has never DMX'd anything, ever. And he can come in and do this easily. He doesn't even know the terminology of what he's looking at. He doesn't even know. Last time we spoke, anyway, that I can recall, he wasn't referring to it as a DMX 512 universe. He was calling it something else weird. He didn't know. And it was an honest thing. He really didn't know, but it didn't matter. He understood how to do this, and it wasn't hard.
Mm-hmm.
And he was able to create some really, really cool light shows for songs. The one I saw at NAMM blew my mind. He had this set up in a room kind of upstairs at NAMM that he would bring people up in and do demonstrations on. And that was just incredible. Just absolutely incredible. And he did it. That was the cool part about it. Mm-hmm. He did it. It wasn't like he brought in a special lighting designer to do it. Jay, the guy who doesn't know DMX, did it and was able to sort it out and do a really impressive demo. So I like that. That's a cool piece. Just that software with the record box lighting. I don't know if it's the route I want to go. I really don't, but I see how it could be very valuable to some, and I see how people would like it.
Oh, yes, definitely. Trying to see what else was in that room.
Well, if you were in the Pioneer Room, there were a series of earthquakes that were happening.
Yes, there were.
And I mean, it was like structural damage was going to start happening to the building, which was next door to them.
Yeah.
Something called Bass Boss.
Yeah, that was
this
something.
Stuff. I'm talking about feeling the music. If you like bass, just go to Bass Boss.
Yeah, their speakers. First off, they're generally 3 to 4 times the money of any other speakers. They're the most expensive speakers at the DJ convention. They've got to be way higher than DAS. I don't think DAS is.
In Texas, engineer was there on site.
Yeah, and they
really nice people.
You went into the room, and when they're playing that, you can feel it. And literally, you can feel the bass in your bones. Your ears are. It's actually a tingle sensation you're having when you're listening. You're in that sound room.
No, I think that sound room was only about 12 by 20.
Yeah,
it wasn't very big.
No, it wasn't very big at all.
But it doesn't matter. It was shaking the entire exposition center.
Yes, that whole upper floor.
Concrete floors were shaking with this stuff.
Yeah, it's
very cool. But Is it mobile DJ stuff?
That's that, and there's the big question with that is that, as I mentioned in video, it's that concert level. I mean, even their little 12-inch two-way cabinet, their top cab, it can play at a higher sound pressure than most speakers can, and it's much heavier and much more expensive. For the people who need that type of that capability, that's something to look at.
Yeah, I guess if you're doing really high-end school events or something, and you're bringing tractor trailers in and trussing monkeys, and maybe this is something that you could look into, and you have a budget for it.
Yeah,
very cool stuff. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not giving it a mobile DJ seal of approval because it just doesn't feel mobile to me.
no, I would agree. I don't think it does, and not when there's other options that we saw at the show that were much more. But
Sure,
it's something to talk about. And for the right person, it's a great solution.
Yeah, bottom line, if you want bass, just go there. I mean, if you want like a ridiculous, if you're like the Honda Civic that's driving past my house at 3 a.m, waking me up and annoying the hell out of me, if that turns you on, then maybe bass boss will turn you on. It's incredibly stupid, loud bass. It's loud. It's earth-shaking stuff, but you're going to pay for it, and with not only your pocketbook but your back
and ears and everything else. Let's see, Cool Hand. We talked about Avante right away. That's the first room we talked about with the Imperial, their array sound system. Interesting applications for that. I don't know if it's going to be a great mobile DJ application. It doesn't quite seem to be that way. It almost falls more in the install area right now from what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Even though it does have the ability to go sub-pole top in a system.
I don't think Avante was ever supposed to be mobile DJ friendly in the first, or for mobile DJs in the first place. It was supposed to be installs.
Yeah, and they'll figure out if they're going to make it that direction. And I'm sure by NAMM they're going to have a really solid game plan down of what they want to, how they want to represent that. Because we even saw in the curved line array system idea with LD Systems when they first started coming and putting that together, they were a little confused about how they wanted to represent that.
That was cute.
Did they want to represent the first generation of those where they were attaching them to walls and they were yet pitching them to DJs? And, again, they just didn't know where they are. Now they have a little more feedback, a little more time under their belt, and they have a better feel. And we'll get to LD Systems because that's downstairs, and we're still upstairs.
Yeah.
We turned a corner. Now we hit
Electro-voice.
We went from Bass Boss to Electro-voice. And
Yes.
I think even Dave just mentioned the Electro-voice demo room was a good experience to go in and be able to listen to a variety of different Electro-voice speakers, the different families and such as they had them set up in the room.
Now, on Wednesday night, I went in there after the show.
Okay.
Ben and I spent probably a good half hour, 45 minutes. And I haven't posted them yet, but I'm going to. I wanted to do something different. And it just kind of came to me. And I thought, yeah, this is the way to go. Instead of just going in there and looking at a speaker and talking about what the SPL is and all this crap, let's go in here. Let's look at each individual series and the speakers in the series and talk about what the application would be for this particular speaker or this system. Mm-hmm. So we did that. We went from ETX to ZLX. We went through the whole gamut that was there, looked at each speaker and talked about how someone might use it or who might benefit from this speaker. What type of events would a DJ be doing with these particular speakers? I've seen so many people go ETX and they're doing 150 person weddings and they're like,
yeah,
much. I'm like, yeah, it is. The throw's too hard. It's not the thing to have. But we talked about the different speakers and what is entry level and what is going to work well for crowds of 400. What's going to work well for crowds of 150 and those kind of things. So I'll be posting those videos when I get a chance to do it. Yeah. There's several. Yeah. So it was just a different approach of looking at, but there was nothing new in there. We haven't seen anything new yet from EV, but I believe we will closer to NAMM.
Danny on Facebook asked how Bass Boss compared to the ETX subs from Electro-voice. You're comparing I believe the ETX is around a $1,500 sub to, I believe, a $4,000 sub.
Yeah.
To really compare side by side, we would be looking at getting into the touring speakers from Electro-voice, the ones that Ben Stowe runs when he's out doing sound for 5,000 people. That would be the comparison. It wouldn't. The ETX, while it is in the DJ market, basically some of one of the bigger dogs, it's not the bass boss. It's not it's kind of like I get chastised when I'm comparing like an ETX speaker to the ZLX speaker and say, oh, look at how much difference. Yeah, we're jumping levels.
Yeah, it's kind of like
do a car analogy. Go car analogy.
Oh God, car analogy. Let's compare a really nice Corvette to a fuelie dragster. Do you really need to bring a dragster, drive back and forth to work every day? Could you even steer it if you could? It's just, no. Bass boss is ridiculous. I'm just gonna say it. And now, okay, fine. I'm 47 years old. I'm not a kid, but I can't think of an application for bass boss. I can't think of any event that I would do that I would need bass boss.
Yeah.
I can't think of it. I mean, what would it be? It would almost have to be like a hip hop club install. If you could manage to keep a hip hop club open for more than 3 weeks, you could put bass boss in there. But it's just insanity. I don't even know if it would be like wise for concert application, because you'd lose a lot of the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of an application for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
You have to experience this stuff. It's neat. Don't get me wrong. It's really neat. But when it comes to practical application, I got nothing.
Yeah, I would.
Do you?
No, I've never done a show. I believe that I would have needed that type of horsepower.
I've done 4,000 person shows, and I didn't need that much bass. I just didn't. I mean, would it have been nice? No, probably not. It's too much. I don't think so. I don't know what you would use this for. It would have to be an amazing club. I don't know. Some kind of virtual reality kind of thing, maybe, where there's an earthquake, you could use them. It's absolutely ludicrous. I'm telling you, this stuff is just ludicrous. You'd be fine with ETX. You're going to produce all kinds of nice bass, and it's going to be balanced with your highs and your mids if you do it right, and you've made a wise choice. And it has practical applications. But I don't see where this does. Mm-hmm. And I can't stress that enough. Anybody who asks me a question about bass boss, I'm just going to tell you it's absolutely over the top ridiculous.
And if you were in the upper floor, whether you were all the way down in the Avante room or if you were in the seminar rooms on the other side,
it didn't matter.
You heard the bass boss.
There's probably cracked toilets up there from that shit. I mean, it was obnoxious. Cool, very cool. But again, I don't know what I...
Yeah, you're hearing things in the ceiling you don't typically hear moving. Dude. Okay, so... Electro-voice room, probably one of the coolest things, and we got that on video when Ben and I shot last week, is they had in the middle their little DJ booth, and they had, he explained how if you have Evolve 50s, how you should set them up to get the best quality sound.
Where he tilted out a little bit.
Yes, exactly. He had those.
I talked about that before.
Yep. And he was there, and he explained it, and he used big terms which Brian and I don't use.
No.
To explain why that was. We just said they sound better. Do this, and
if you don't want to hurt your ears, turn them out a little bit.
And that way they don't have that finger canceling going on, and it fills the room, and you have your bass, which is omnidirectional, still hitting sweetly on your dance floor.
And you're not near field getting deaf with this stuff hitting you in the ears. Although they're facing forward, it's coming back at you.
So that was kind of a neat thing to see. The whole family's on the back wall. So yeah, okay. So popping out of that, we have one more demo room upstairs to talk about, and that was the RCF room. Did you get to check anything out in the RCF room?
It looked cool, but it was kind of a madhouse when I was in there, and I don't know what I was hearing. I didn't talk to anybody in there. I talked to Tarek in the hallway, said hello, but I wasn't able to go in there and really focus on anything in particular. It was a beautiful room, though.
Yeah.
They had a beautiful room, and what I heard in there sounded nice, whatever it was. But it was a nice looking room. I didn't pick anything out in particular in there. Did you?
The biggest thing, I mean, beautiful room, as you said, they had some nice couches. It was kind of a lounge feel, and they had a DJ thing.
Kind of some acrylic tables with some lighting or something. And I was thinking, it looked really, really cool.
Yeah, it's like
looking kind of area.
This would be neat. We'll come in here, we can sit down, and they'll probably go through and do the things and show us, different speakers. So I went back up there during the day on 3 different occasions, and I walk into the room, and they are playing so loud in there that there was the DJ and I think the lighting guy in the back, whatever that person was in the back with all the computers. And that was it. Everyone else was, as you say, in the hallway because it was just so loud. And I have no idea which ones I heard. They were loud. I could tell you that. I mean, it was one of the bigger subwoofers, but it didn't do a thing for what I needed it to do, which is to go in there and say, hey, can you play a little bit? We can talk about a couple of speakers or something to that effect. It was really loud. It's like we took the downstairs loudness volume and just put it upstairs. And
yeah. Well, I think the problem that a few companies have, and I've seen it repeated over and over again, when they have some people, and not particularly the manufacturer, but maybe, can you see me okay?
Yep, you're back.
Okay, yeah, my thing got weird for a minute.
Yep.
Anyway, they bring in DJs. And it's the DJ they know locally, and we never know what files this DJ is playing. If I were to demo speakers, and when I do demo speakers, I'm at least using 320K MP3s at the least, you know, sometimes better. Some of these DJs come in there and they just want to play loud and they don't know how to obey the 0 dB rule. They don't know how to get quality sound on their boards. They don't know how to use, or they don't care about using clean files. They're just these kind of loud East Coast DJs making a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when you go to listen to speakers, you want to hear what the speakers sound like, and sometimes you can't because all you hear is this noise. I'm afraid that may have been what happened up at RCF.
Could have been. That definitely.
I've seen FBT do it. I mean, I've seen I'm not picking on them in particular, but I've seen other companies do it. Oh, isn't this great? It's like, no, this is terrible. This is not. All you're doing is being the loudest. You're not turning anybody onto your product. It's kind of like the PV Party takeover at Mobile Beat. It's just loud.
Yeah.
I don't know that anyone walks out of that takeover and says, I'm going to go buy some PV because it just doesn't sound good. It's just loud because there's nobody paying attention to the levels. There's nobody paying attention to the files that are being played through these speakers. And to me, that would be like the most important thing. Now you go into Avante, for example, and Chuck Green's going to play Hotel California live from the Eagles over and over and over again until the day he dies because that's his song.
Yep.
Okay. But at least he's using a clean file. And the speakers sound good. And
it's a song that we have a point of reference with. We actually have an idea of what it sounds like. And that's one of my biggest frustrations at these shows. And even when I was talking to Denon, it's like when Michael's coming in there and playing on Tuesday in Your Gear, he's going to be playing tracks that people, segments of songs that people know. You don't, most of these are playing inch, and that's all you're hearing. And it's like, and there's someone right next to him
playing a different inch, and then it just becomes the show floor.
Yeah, and it's like
you've got your own speaker demo room. Yeah. You got it all yourself. Yeah. Showcase what you've got with a clean audio chain all the way through. Otherwise, it's just loud.
Yeah.
That's just a critique that I've got for them who are doing this. I would much rather have Chuck Green playing Hotel California over and over again
all day. Yeah.
What I heard in RCF.
Yeah, and again, they good speakers. We're not saying anything against that. It's just
no. It's not a critique on the speakers. It's a critique on the presentation in the demo room. Beautiful, but could have been executed a little better.
Yeah.
Could have had somebody there saying, "Hi, can I answer any questions for you?" That would have been helpful.
Yes,
because I might have had some, but I didn't get that opportunity. It was just a lot of people in there. Who knew the DJ at the time when I was in there, and I didn't have time for it. I was busy. I didn't have time to weed through that. So I don't know. It's kind of a shame that it had to be like that.
Brandon asked about the Yamaha DXS18. Yes, very familiar with that subwoofer. If if we talk about that in a different show because they weren't here as part of DJ Expo. Yamaha hasn't been to a DJ event in quite a while, actually. They barely had anything at NAMM in the DJ realm. So, but we can chat about that on an open forum night. A
lot of the stuff, like I think Yamaha's there. I think PV's there to some extent, and as well as QSC now, where I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but they're not really building speakers for mobile DJs.
Nope,
they're not really relying on the mobile DJ market for their sales. They're building them for other things. They're building them for live sound. They're building them for bars, install, whatever. DJ is kind of an afterthought for most of these companies. They're not thinking about us. They're thinking about other people. But yeah, I guess the DJ could use them too. So they're not dumping a lot of dough into these trade shows. Now, what is made for DJs speaker-wise? I think the Evolve 50, I think Mike D was thinking about a wedding DJ when he built those things.
Yeah, no question.
That's a DJ speaker. You know, that's smart and clever design. And even as a disabled person, I can easily not only transport it, but set it up and break it down. And I can go way advanced with it if I want to. I can get into an app if I want to and do adjustments. Or I can keep it simple. It's so nice. It's versatile in that regard. But most other speakers that I see, they'll flat out tell you, yeah, they're for install, or yeah, they're for band, or whatever. Avante is one of those that's like that. It's not really for DJs, but DJs can absolutely use them. And I think RCF is actually building things for DJs. I think they're looking at some of those Evoxes that they have, the plastic cabinet Evox or whatever the series is that they're doing now.
Yeah, the J series.
Trying to hit that low price point. I think they're trying to do that for DJs, but I don't know. Anyway,
yeah.
Let's go downstairs to the expo floor for a minute.
So yeah, the rest of that level was seminar rooms around the main one and around the corner. So we're pretty much done on that level. So we go down into the seminar exhibit hall. That's where the rest of the vendors were. Let's finish with the speaker companies as long as we're hitting them. So we've already talked about it. I think there were DAS, PV, FBT, and of course EV had a small booth to send people upstairs, and QSC might have had a small booth to send them upstairs.
I don't think QSC had a room.
Or not QSC. I'm sorry. RCF. Yeah,
they may have. Yeah.
Yeah. QSC was not there because they were talking about the K series here. That's what I was reading, and yeah, there was no QSC this year. JBL wasn't there. So those were the three downstairs. Did you get a chance?
Well, LD was there.
Oh, and LD Systems. There we go. I was thinking there was four of them down there. So thank you. There's LD Systems. Let's start on the FBT was there. They were showing off some of their array systems. I did not, and granted, they probably did, but I didn't at any time going through there. I really didn't hear them playing.
Well,
so
in Jamie's defense, who was across from them? Was it Newmark?
You had Newmark, no,
right across from them.
Rain might have been right across from them.
Might have been Rain. Well, it was that group.
Yeah, it was in music.
Newmark and on Rain. It's all the same thing now. It's all whoever. Newmark. They built that booth, and they had a DJ facing the wall, which is where FBT was, and they had Wiki there cranking it up. And Jamie was trying to not be that guy. He was trying not to become part of the problem because he would have won that battle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they had some.
Yeah, but he was trying to rely on the sound police to cool them out and do his sound demos as need be.
Mm-hmm.
He could have easily overpowered them and could have become part of the problem. He didn't want to do that. So unfortunately, there wasn't much of a sound demo over there. And I know that I did a video on the speaker that he had. It's an array, and it has, I think, 4 6-inch full range speakers in it and a horn. I saw it when I was over at in Italy. I saw it. They just built it. You could fly it. Mobile guys can use it. It's a pretty hot seller for them right now for big events, and it sounds gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous. The demo I heard in Italy sounded great. And the name, it still eludes me right now what the name of that speaker was.
I
Do you
didn't.
remember?
I did not. I didn't get a chance to catch up with Jamie at the show.
And I did not hear it at the show, but I heard it in Italy, and it sounds.
Oh, okay.
beautiful.
Yeah, I remember you talking about something when you did your video from Italy, and we talked about that.
I did a video on it, and I did another video on it here at the show, and I just haven't posted it yet. I've got stuff in the can yet that I'll trickle out. So.
So yeah, across then the next probably as we're working our way across the room would have been the PV booth, and they had speakers set up around the booth. They had DJs up on their little stage there doing their wiki thing.
Yeah.
Very loud. Not really conducive for certainly what we do, but even to ask questions they did have some PV reps there, so they could answer questions. But it was really loud and it was really difficult. I felt, again, this is on Tuesday, and Tuesday the first hour was great volume wise, and then things just went absolutely crazy.
They're all I guess pinning for your attention.
Yeah, and then I hear on Wednesday and Thursday people were saying it was better than it was Tuesday afternoon and early evening when it just went crazy. So the PV, the only thing that I really wanted to hear, and I wanted to hear those RBN, the 10-inch RBN series speakers, because I had the 12-inch RBN here for a while and played with those, and I really loved the sound. And it's like the 10, because the RBN was a heavy box. I wanted to hear that 10 and see how that sounded, but that's a future. I'll have to hear that at some other
show.
Then kind of near them was the DAS audio, and typically at DJ Expo events, DAS is the loudest one there on the show floor. They're the ones that basically have been called the bad neighbor all over because they just get there and they just blare. This year, they turn their sound system in. They put their DJ booth at the DJ system at the back of the booth and aimed it into the middle of their booth. So you had to walk into their booth to really hear the sweet spot of their sound system. And oh my gosh, I stepped in there and it wasn't very loud. And the sound, it was like, wow, this is really impressive. How it was their I believe it was an array system that they were showing, if I'm not mistaken, that had two kind of wedge boxes that were stacked on top of each other. It was a beautiful sound. I was very impressed, and I've walked past DAS booth forever at these shows, and it's been always so loud that I couldn't listen to it to tell you if it sounded good or not, because it was just that loud that I didn't want to be in that vicinity. So,
yeah.
Oh yes, and Bose was there too. We'll get to that. So yeah, the DAS. I was definitely impressed with the sound of the system. But then again, they're a higher end box and they're more expensive, and it's get what you pay for. Let's bump over to the LD systems.
Okay.
You got to spend a little more time talking to Steve. LD.
Yeah, Steve and Johnny, good guys.
Yeah.
We've become friends this summer after I started looking at the whatever the hell I have that they have.
Maui
5 Go. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Battery powered speaker. I took it out on Saturday and used it at a gig, by the way. And
and you do that just the one speaker?
It was a little party for like 30 people in the backyard. It's like, that's perfect. Would 2 have been cool? Yeah, 2 have been cool, but 1 was fine. Nobody said, "Where's the other speaker?" Nobody said that. No one couldn't hear it.
Yeah.
We wanted to hear it. It was good, clean sound, and I was happy that I went that route. But yeah, they've got they got the Maui 5 Go. They had at the show.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're not talking about it yet here in the States, but there is a white version of that that's available in Europe.
Oh,
Not out, it'll be coming out soon. If you go on the website, you can see it.
Excellent. I did not.
Now, yeah, if you go on the website, they show Maui 5 Go W, they call it. And then there's the Maui 5 and Maui 5W. Maui 5W is the white one. They did have that at the show. So those were there. But we spent some time and looked at the Curve. Did you have a look at the Curve?
Yes. Yes, I have looked at the Curve, and I got to listen to that at NAMM quite a bit this past year.
Well, I didn't see it in NAMM. It's the first time I've seen it here, and it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a mobile DJ speaker. I think it's what do you want to say, 500 person school event kind of thing? maybe.
Oh boy, that would be pushing it.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that might be pushing a little bit. A little bit. The curve system, when I was referring to earlier, where they brought a system out and they were kind of wondering how to and what to put it together. The curve system was what I was referring to, because initially they were mounted up on the wall, showing that, and again, it was just a work in progress as what they were figuring out. I think what we saw at NAMM and what we saw again at DJ Expo when it comes to that curve system is a great little sound system for DJ applications, and it has a bigger driver in it than most of the other array systems, and it has a more defined curve, so you're going to have that array throw that you would be looking for. So
no, what was so nice about it is you could do a couple different configs of array. You could curve it up, curve it down. You could do a more narrow curve or a more broad curve just by using the components, which interlock, and there's no cabling between them. You have a 15-inch subwoofer that links to your little base that your array goes on. You can have it kind of a downward tilt like this or an upward tilt. You can go tight, you can go wide, just depending on what config you want to go with. So there's a lot of really cool different ways you can use it. I think you'd have to really know how to build sound before you would even think about picking something like this up. But it's talking about, well, if you want more of a downward, at the crowd kind of thing, you can tilt it down. If you want more of a wide dispersion kind of thing in the whole room, you can tilt it up a little bit. Neat piece, and it's all the only cable is the one coming from the sub to the little base plate. Other than that, it's kind of like the Maui 5 Go, where you put it all together in the column, or even the Evolve 50, where you put it all together and it's magnetic and the connections happen internally, no extra wires or anything to worry about.
Yeah, and that's definitely convenient. I like that, where you click and click and click, and you can add, or you can go 2, or you can go up to 4 per side on the top, depending upon what your application calls for. Yeah. So definitely.
They were selling out of those Maui 5 Go's too. They had some at the show, and they kept having these little, only 10/9/8/7. I think by the time I left, they only had 3 left or something like that. Wow. And I know some people walked away with them. 2 people who walked away with them.
Somebody mentioned the Maui 5 pricing at about. There's the Maui 5, which isn't the battery powered, and the Maui 5 Go, which is the battery powered. And the Maui 5 Go was over $800 at the show.
Well, no, it was on Wednesday. The Maui 5 Go was without bags. I think it was $759.
Okay, then
show price. The Maui 5, the white Maui 5 that was there, I want to say it was $570.
I was going to say it was under $6. There was.
I think it could be had for around $600 all day, and that's the non-battery powered version of that.
Mm-hmm.
So cool little speakers, though. I mean, they're not going to be for everybody. I don't think the same person looks at Bass Boss and LD Systems at the same time. It's just a different customer. But I really was it $565. That sounds right. I got a video of it. And I actually have the price tag in the video somewhere.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, you can go look at it. I don't remember. But at any rate, I mean, Canal Sound and Light had some really good deals on those, some special buys for the show. And it's really nice for cocktail. It's nice for small parties. It's nice for ceremony. I think you can probably do 2 of those and do a 100-person event. Probably. I don't know. I'm going to get another one just to try it because I'm curious now. I thought I'm never going to need 2 of these, but now people keep asking.
I was just going to say,
what about this? Oh, let's try it. I guess I don't know.
Randy just mentioned that he talked him into 8. Did he get 2 of them? I sweet. Yeah, Randy picked up 2 of them at the show. Good for you. Yeah, you will definitely like them. Again, there's the right application. They're a great tool. So specifically, if Randy wants to go down to the nudist beach and he's out there and he's wanting to go completely wireless on the nudist beach and he doesn't have to hide his wires anywhere, he can do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they'd be really cool for a car show. I think they'd be really
for
cool.
sure. Yeah.
I use them at home. I've got a lot of company coming to town starting this week again with all my family stuff that's been going on this summer. And I'm sure we'll be doing a little bit of entertaining and that will be part of it. It's just a great little piece, even in my little backyard here. I'm not disturbing my neighbors yet. I've got full sound, but if I wanted to, I could definitely disturb my neighbors. Alternately, I could bring it out to my parents' property, big piece of property, and make some noise out there with it too.
Yeah, for sure. That's that array system that can throw. Battery power, they can say up to 30 hours.
Yeah,
that's at low
listening levels, 30 hours. I think it's at 90 decibels, you're looking at 12, and at 120 decibels, you're looking at 6.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. 120 decibels.
That's pushing. That's pushing pretty hard. So
that's right before clip, and 6 hours on a single battery charge.
Okay, so the
I also heard from Johnny, speaking of Maui 5 Go, that very soon they're going to have a charging base for that.
Oh.
So let's just say, for instance, you're into doing 16-hour parties. I'm just saying, if you're that guy, 16-hour parties on the beach. Okay, fine. What you can do is you can buy a separate battery pack. You can have it charged, and you can rock 120 dB for 6 hours, and you can do a battery swap on your new battery. Then take your dead battery, walk to the nearest power outlet, wherever that happens to be, put it on the docking station, and let that charge for whatever it is, 2 hours, if that, and you got another full charge. So that's coming. The charging base for the Maui 5 Go is coming.
That will be neat. Very neat. Just like our cordless drills. Ching, 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 ching.
Yeah. Quick swap.
Okay, so there was one more audio company or speaker company that was in the main exhibit area. That was the Bose.
Yeah.
And Bose had
a big truck.
A big truck, yeah. They had speakers, but the big truck.
And she was on top of the big truck.
Yeah, she was up there performing, spinning there, and at the Bose party that went on later on Tuesday night.
I didn't go to any of the parties, but I walked over because Shane was there. And I'm standing there, and there's this dude next to me. I'm like, oh, it's DJ Cool. Hey, what's up, dude? And he remembered me. We talked a little bit and about Sparky and his kids. We took a picture teasing Sparky and texted it to him. And, yeah. So, yeah, that's that. Yeah. Cool area they had over there, kind of behind the ADJ booth. Oh,
yeah, that's right. Yorkville was there also, and had some cabinets set up there too. Because I was looking through some of the Yorkville cabinets, and we got to listen to some of them at NAMM. Didn't get to hear anything or do much of anything here, but yeah, they were down there also. Okay, we're running tight on time. I wanted to hit a couple of the lighting things that stood out to you, and then if there was any other gear. So let's jump to lighting. First up, Brian, there was a laser light that ADJ had, ADJ lighting.
A razor.
A razor. I didn't even know it existed until I was done with the show, and then somebody mentions it. So what did you find out about that?
Well, it's part of the Star Trek series, and I did do a video on it that I've not posted yet, but I have it. Jose breaks it down. They're surface mount diodes, SMDs, and it's got this little rotating, looks like an eyeball, but it's a rotating laser eye on it. So it does lasers and it does washes, but the SMDs aren't so bright that you can't do a straightforward aim and people can see the design in them. So it's a cool little piece. It's a mobile DJ light. It's mobile DJ friendly in that regard. As mobile DJ friendly as any PAR would be, I guess.
Sure.
Small, it's reasonably priced, and yeah, it's a cool little fixture. So I did see that. I mean, above and beyond that, at ABJ they had some video panels, AV2 and AV6.
It was the top one, the two.
I don't know what the deals with the numbers. The AV6 was the one on the bottom.
Okay, so the two is that smaller pixel, we'll call it.
The 2 was up top. It
high
seems
resolution.
like it would be backwards that way, but the 2 was the one that just looked like you were watching your 4K TV.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Yes, and to compare the two, I thought was really cool. If you're interested in video panels, just to see that there is indeed a difference. And Jose was saying, and I really appreciate his take on this. He was saying, like, maybe the AV6, which is the lower resolution panel, would be really good for concerts where you're looking at this from quite a far distance away.
Yeah.
Whereas if you are in a more intimate setting, a bar or club or something, and it's for more closer viewing, maybe that AV2 with the tighter, I forget what I think that the AV6 has the diodes. I think they're 6 millimeters apart, and the
Yeah, I don't remember exactly.
Has the diodes like 2 millimeters apart.
Yeah, I think they're 2.7 millimeter size. That's the size of the diodes, and I think the other one are like 5 point something. I want to say.
But there was an issue with how close together they were too.
Yeah, yeah, they're smaller and they're tighter.
Yeah. So it's cool to see that, but aside from, not really mobile DJ stuff. A lot of people go on production, but not everyone's going production. Most people aren't going production, but a lot of people are going that route. So those panels are cool, but
very much so.
They're not for me, but they're cool. The Razor was a cool little mobile DJ light. And of course, they had the on-tour phase and things like that as well that we've looked at. But when it really comes to who's thinking about the mobile DJ right now, it's always there at almost every show. And nobody talks about it. We don't talk about it, but we should. The person who's thinking about the mobile DJ every show is who?
Is Jim Baxter.
At Colorado Sound and Light.
Yep.
This guy is a DJ. He's an active DJ. And he does an
active DJ.
He does weddings. He does proms. He does homecomings. He does large events. He's kind of like, I don't want to say he's Ben Stowe, because Ben Stowe's Ben Stowe, but he kind of does Ben Stowe stuff sometimes in Colorado. Like, he'll do live sound for people and things, and he's good at it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he's got a retail store like Ben does, but he also has his own creations. And some of his creations are just so on the money. They're so cool. He's got these little wireless battery-powered lights that come in a 6-pack. He's built these things himself.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 different versions of them. There's an RGB and a couple of RGWs that you can also achieve amber with. They're priced right for what they are. If you break it down, they have warranty on them. And if anybody has ever bought anything that Jim has created from Colorado Sound and Light, you'll know that he builds like Humvee stuff. I mean, this stuff is indestructible.
Yep.
There are, like Chris Begke out in Rialto, California, he's been running Colorado Sound and Light stuff since the mid-90s.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of just discarding it when it gets out of date with the halogen lights, whatever, what does he do? He sends it to Jim and has him retrofit it and retool it because he loves his stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody I know who's a Colorado Sound and Light customer is a Colorado Sound and Light customer for life. They just love that stuff.
Yeah.
Good build quality and the whole bit. And Jim doesn't cut corners on that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I still have a couple of his light, that I-beam with the 16. I still have that in the shed out here.
Well, that's what Chris still loves to run. It's his favorite thing.
Oh yeah, it's a great.
Yeah,
and we changed that over to LED. I didn't even think about that, but that would have been really cool. And Jim probably is like, "Oh yeah, I've got these retro click boom editing."
Yeah, I want to show you what we got over here. We got some cool new stuff. Yeah.
And now watch this. It can all be run off this remote control. Click, 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 click.
It would almost be fun for you to put those in the mail to Jim and just put a note on there that says "Surprise me." Just to see what he does, because he's always trying something new.
You would have speakers on the outside, lights on the.
Oh my gosh! But no, Jim is on it. He's making cool stuff as always. Just thoughtful things, and they're all, I guess, inventions out of necessity. He runs into a problem on his gigs, or he wants to try something. He's like, "Well, how do I do that? Yep. There's nothing out there, so I'm going to build this thing." Oh, I think this is pretty cool. Maybe everybody else would like it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen his LED or the projector mount that he makes?
Nope, it's seen the projector mount, and
it's gorgeous. He created this because he needed one of his daughter's wedding, and he couldn't find one that would do what he wanted to do.
So he made one.
He created his own, and it's the nicest projector mount you're going to see anywhere. I have one. Well, I say I have one, but I showed it to Artabera, and I'll never see it again. Because he's like, mine, and he took off with it. It was the end of it. So yeah, Jim is the guy to keep an eye on. I'm looking at like, okay, Maui 5 Go. This is solving all of my audio problems. Sounds great. And, I can use something simple like an Amazon Fire tablet with the DJ from Algorithm as my program. And that's all battery powered. Solved. How in the heck am I going to run my wireless mic receiver, my DC wireless mic receiver?
There's only
look what I got. And
only
he
a little
made this
box.
You just tell me what you got. I'll build a custom for you. And he will. Whatever you have, he'll build it custom for you. He did a new version of that little box with a little voltmeter on it. So you can kind of tell what's going on.
Yeah.
But the battery life on that thing is insane anyway for anything we'd run off of it. But you could run a mixer off of it, or several different DC mixers. You could run like a Go Rack. You could run a lot of things off of this little guy. And Jim would custom build the damn thing for you for like $100. It's like, it's the good stuff. It's the good stuff. He'll stand behind his stuff.
And he puts in the proper batteries and he puts in the proper components.
Yeah, so this is Philips batteries, same stuff that's in the damn Teslas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's the same batteries that Tesla's using.
And he likes it. He doesn't want to create something that's going to be a problem, and he's really so treasures
smart.
that.
So I think he's like an overlooked asset.
Yeah, I would agree.
Business. And John, I want to go out to Colorado and check it out. I want to go out there to his shop and see what it's all about. I'd like to do that sometime before the end of the year.
That'd be fun.
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be
just
fun
to
to
tour Jim's shop and kind of get inside his head. But he's into like hot rods. He just bought one of those like Razor ATV things. And can you imagine Jim driving around one of those things? He does. That's his thing. He loves hot rods and fast stuff. His wife's into horses. He's into hot rods and anything that's just fun with an engine in it. But he's also just brilliant when it comes to design. So
Art was saying that he uses it at every gig. So he's thanking you for it. He's watching on Facebook.
Yeah, it's a good little box. And, he's the guy who did the little tripod mount adapter.
Yep. And
that's a lifesaver for a lot of us who are doing the 4-man moving head totems.
Love that.
For like $15-20, your problem solved on any tripod, really. Any 1.5-inch tripod anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Made him for multiple sizes. He's just a smart dude. So anyway, I just wanted to give a shout out to Jim and some of the stuff he had there, from lighting to adapters to power supplies. He's got you covered. If there's a problem that you're having, let Jim know. He'll reinvent a wheel for you. Yeah, he's that guy.
He definitely is. Let's see. We got a few more minutes in, and we got to wrap up. Lighting. One of the first times we saw them at DJ Expo was Ape Labs.
Oh yeah.
And they brought in their uplights, and they've got some IP rated fixtures that they had there. They had some different uplights, and their charging
they had
station.
A fish tank with stuff with water.
Spraying on water.
I don't think they recommend you do that, but they're showing that you could do that.
Yeah, at the show, that's what you get. So that was really, really kind of neat. We've looked at them a little bit in the past, and really, for those of you kind of wondering about what they're going to be coming to the U.S. market with, is Ape Lab's really going to be putting some new products out there and really kind of bringing those to the DJ market. They're creating these for the DJ market with a price point.
Yeah, for the DJ market, which is key. And I think now the stuff is DMX compatible. However, it's not how they even recommend you run it. I mean, I've got some of the stuff. I got a little. I set a couple of them up back here. Just 2 pars, 2 simple pars, and they're smart enough to go RC remote, not IR, but RC remote. Mm-hmm. You can group different fixtures together with this and make them all kind of do the same thing. With just a push of a button, you've got lights, and you can just kind of go through the programs. You can either do static color select, or alternately, you can get into some fades and things once you flip through some of those. Now, what's weird about this stuff is when I first looked at it, I'm like, wait a minute. This is just RGBW, isn't it?
I would think so.
Or RGBW, there's no amber.
Okay.
But you can create some awesome ambers just with pushing this button. Now, here's the other crazy thing. See, I'm talking right now.
Oh, you have them voice.
They're sound active, but they're not like bass hit sound active. So that makes them very interesting.
Yeah.
And they don't just all individually do things together. Sometimes they work in like a tandem. They're doing it. They're neat. They're really interesting. I think it's a cool product. They're thinking about the mobile DJ and how we kind of do things, not just, okay, well, this was made for stage, but yeah, the DJ can use it. No, this is made for DJs. The guys who do the R&D there are smart. They've worked for some big companies, and now they're doing their own thing, and they're making some pretty neat creations.
And
it's
for
not
those,
a fade now, but I can turn a mic on and off on here. I can do a lot of things with this little remote.
yeah, they.
But how much do I really need him to do? I can slow him down. I can speed him up. That's all I need.
For most uplighting situations, that's what you need. And for those of you wondering, no, Brian and I did not talk about what we were going to talk about.
None of this.
None of this. We were talking cars, literally talking cars and gas tanks and gaskets and seals. So
you can do like on this remote control. And if I understand this right, I honestly, I haven't read any of the literature on it. I've just been playing with it. But if I understand this right, I can do 4 different groups of fixtures with this one remote.
I think that's what Owen was saying. Yeah.
So that means that I could have one set of fixtures do one thing, another set of fixtures do another thing, and all within this one remote. This is stuff I've been dreaming about.
Mm-hmm.
That I thought would be so cool for DJs. No IR, easy remote, built-in programs,
And
just to do what we wanted to do. You know,
$11, yeah.
This is it. This is it right here. It's cool stuff. So.
Okay, our lightning round. Any other gear that stood out that we haven't had a chance to talk about here? So we got to wrap up here in a couple of minutes.
Off the top of my head,
Yeah.
I think we hit the highlights.
I
There were other things, but I think that was the highlight reel right there.
Yeah, I think we hit most of the things. There were obviously more vendors, and you can check out the exhibit hall walk around. There's actually 2 versions of that video, both shot from the same perspective. One was the cell phone that was streaming, so it might have had some issues. The other was the 4K camera that did its thing, but went through the entire exhibit hall. Obviously, rock and roller carts were there, and they've got a little bit of tweak on some of their carts. And there was jetpack bags. This is the first time I got to see those at the show. There was, our music companies that Promo Only was there doing their thing. Nick was showing the pool services. So there's a lot of variety at DJ Expo. If you haven't been there before, it's a cool experience to go, not only for the exhibit hall to see the new gear, educational side of it, and then of course the time that you get to spend and meet all the different people you see in the chat rooms here at during our show. So it's a great experience. Let's see. Okay. Well, I think we're going to wrap up here.
All right.
Last Eliminator lighting. I don't know if there's anything new at the Eliminator lighting booth.
I didn't even see them.
Yeah.
I was bouncing around trying to get a few things done, and a few things caught my eye, but I didn't even catch Eliminator. But I do know the Eliminator is stepping it up.
Yeah, I think from Eliminator had a nice display. It looked like the same things that I saw at NAMM, a very similar display and such.
Yeah,
which
probably.
They've got a lot of really neat things from Eliminator there. So if you're getting into lighting and such, and they've got some good, nice looking lights that have a lot of capability, and their price point is a little bit lower on their fixtures. So it's definitely something to check
And they're
out.
stepping up. So
And they are, the quality
Keep an
and
eye
such.
on them.
So
the love letters were smart. They're thinking. They're not just
Me Too type of lighting.
They're not Me Too. They're trying to do their own thing, and I
Appreciate that.
I got to take my hat off to them. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, but then there were some casing companies. Odyssey was there. ProX was there with their different road cases and such. So just a lot
And
of
if you like the Evolve 50 but would like it heavier, I think Gator made a case for the Evolve 50.
They
You
did.
put 2 of them in there.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, that was.
So
you can check
if
it.
that was something that was bothering you, that the Evolve 50 was too portable, they came up with a way to make it less portable.
Yep,
for
you
anybody who
watched-
was interested in doing that.
Watch the Tuesday Night with Ben Stowe from last week. We actually showed Ben took it apart and showed the case, and
I did a video on it.
if you've got a trailer, ramps and trailer in the right, but most
And
of
a
my,
roadie.
Yeah, most of my
Or
shows I've
roadies,
got
plural.
steps. Whether it's 1, maybe it's 3, but So
Yeah.
Well, everyone, have yourself a great night. We'll be back. Let's see, MJ's back tomorrow night, and Thursday night we will actually have Nick Spinelli on, I believe, on Thursday night with KC talking about his presentation he did at DJ Expo, which of the presentations was one of the highest rated and such from the show. So that'll be Thursday. So MJ Wednesday, KC and Nick on Thursday, and we'll be back next week. Good night, everybody.